I'm going to open up a program and I will show you real quick what that program is. Okay, so here we have a picture and you can see the sanctuary, right? And so this is the door, if you will, right here. And when you come into the door, Christ is referred to as the door in John chapter 10. He says, I am the door. So you come into the door, which is Christ. And when you come into the door, you're surrounded by this white garment. What does this white garment represent except the righteousness of Christ? And there are brazen pillars that hold up this white garment. Now, brass refers to the earthly ministry. So it's referring to, I believe, us. We are part of what helps keep the righteousness of Christ upstanding and off the ground so it doesn't get dirty, okay? So then you get into this sanctuary, you're surrounded by the white, so now you're justified, and you have this burnt offering experience where you confess your sins and Christ dies for you. You're then completely washed from the blood and the water cleanses you, of course, and then by faith, well, this was, of course, the priest that's doing it for you because you kill the lamb and then you go out. So the priest is doing this for you. But then after the earthly ministry was done with the blood and the water coming from the side of Christ on the cross, he then ascended and went into the holy place. He was there from 34 for 1810 years until he went into the most holy place, which was in 1844. Now, I would like to say something that is important to understand. It's that Christ, when he ascended from being done with his earthly ministry, he ascended and went into both the holy and the most holy place. Why? Why do I say that? Because all things needed to be anointed for the ministry. That included the Ark of the Covenant, okay? So when he ascended, he anointed all things, the showbread, the candlestick, the incense, the ark, and all the vessels and everything. And then he started his ministry here after the Lord, inaugurated him. So God anointed him as well. And so he was here for 1810 years ministering before the Father. Why before the Father? Because the showbread, the table of showbread, has 2 stacks of bread. Let me see, it's one right here and it's one right here. Okay, there's 2 stacks of bread. And each of them is equal. Each of them has 6, if you will. And there's also 2 crowns around the table. You can find one crown that is inside the other one. There's a hand breadth. It's interesting. There's a little hand there on my let me see. I'll see if make it bigger. There's a little hand breadth there, and then there's another outer crown. So there's 2 crowns, 2 tables of, or rather 2 stacks of bread, showing that there's 2 on the throne. That would be the Father and the Son. Okay. Depending on which way they're facing. If it's the Father here, the Son is at the right hand here. So if they're facing this way toward the south, then of course you have the candlestick representing the angelic ministry along with us here on the earth and the Spirit of Christ being sent forth into the earth. So that's what was happening in the 1810 years, is the Father was with the Son in the holy place. But what's interesting is it shows in Daniel chapter 7 that the Son of Man moved from here and came to the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days was in the most holy place, but it shows that the throne that the Father was on, it actually has wheels. Why does it have wheels? Well, because it moved from here to here. So the Father moved, and then it shows the Son being brought with the clouds of heaven unto the Ancient of Days. And so they both sat on the throne, and, well, Christ is actually ministering before the throne for the last, since 1844, and he will be doing very similar work as he did here, yet it's in the most holy place, which is the final phase of the judgment, the phase of the sanctuary. So when Christ was on the cross and he said, "It is done," this part was done, this part was completed. When at the end of the 7 last plagues and the Son says, "It is done," this ministry in its completion will be done. And then during the time where Christ comes at the end of the 1,000 years and completely destroys the wicked and says for the 3rd and last time, "It is done," it is because the executive final judgment is done. So that's why in the New Testament you have 3 times where the Son says, "It is done," is because he's finished outer court, the holy place, and the most holy place. Okay? So I hope that's helpful as a quick overview of the sanctuary and what Christ is doing in the ministry. Is that helpful?